Have you ever had a finish line in your life? Something you wanted so bad, something you would persevere over anything, overcome anything. Struggle through anything. I will do everything I have to just to touch that line. You remember a point like that in your life? When you were struggling, you were fighting, you were dealing, you don't think you can go anymore, you don't think you can do this job anymore, you don't think you can deal with this person anymore, you don't think you can deal with this challenge, this difficulty anymore, and it all comes down to how bad do you want to keep going? And you're pounding through the surf, and after you get through the surf, you go to where you think you've got a little bit of open water, and you got to take a breath, and boom, someone will punch you in the face and knock you underwater, and you'll come up out of the water, and you go over here and hope you get a little bit of open water, boom, someone else will kick you in the head and knock you underwater, and someone will grab your shoulder and grab your leg and push you down. You're grabbing them, you're pushing them, and you just want to say, will you stop hitting me? And then you think, no one told me it was going to be like this. Your first couple of weeks on a job, a new position, new challenges. Maybe it was in school, a new grade, your kids. No one told me the 11th grade was going to be like this, or a relationship. No one told me it was going to be this hard. And it's a real shame because there's always, I'm told, one or two people in the Ironman who at that point, who will quit and panic and give up in the first 300 meters of a 140-mile race that they could do if they would just keep going. Don't be that person. Put your goggles back on your face. It happens to all of us, thinking, I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't know it was going to be this hard. But you can do it if you just keep going.
I'm an Ironman triathlete 14 times, 3 years on the U.S. National Team USA. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I've been an attorney for over 20 years, and I'm a professional speaker. When I'm speaking to an audience, I'm seeing the eyes in that room, and they're staring up at me, and I can see behind all of those eyes in that room a lot of different dreams, a lot of different fears, a lot of different challenges, and a lot of different obstacles. And my goal, my job, but it's really my privilege, is to have each person in that room to leave there feeling motivated, feeling powerful, feeling like, okay, I can overcome what I'm facing. When I was just out of college, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and that started me on a path on my life that takes me to where I am now. I started racing marathons just to prove that I could do it.
When I was racing Ironman triathlons, I didn't come out of the hospital and decide I was going to race Ironman triathlons. I decided that I wanted to race a marathon. It seemed like the hardest thing in the world to do was run a marathon. And I signed up for this marathon. It was going to be in Hawaii. I was going to raise money for the American Diabetes Association. And it was 26.2 of the most miserable, painful, wonderful miles of my whole life. Because I'd never run a marathon before. And I got to the finish line of that marathon. It's about 900 degrees in Hawaii that day. And I'm laying there at the finish line of that marathon. And I'm feeling absolutely miserable and ecstatic. Because I had just run a marathon with type 1 diabetes. And there's this guy sitting next to me, and he says, this is where they run the Ironman triathlon. And those guys, they swim 2.5 miles out there in the Pacific Ocean. Then they bike 112 miles up the coast of Hawaii and back. Then they run this marathon. And I leaned over to that guy, and I threw up on him. I thought, what kind of freak of fitness swims 2.5 miles, bikes 112 miles, and then runs a marathon, and who can do that with type 1 diabetes?
We all work for moments, and that feeling that you see and you feel when you achieve it, and that's really what you're working for. And so if you can keep that finish line vision in your mind, that'll power you forever.
Because each one of you has a finish line, and I hope you're thinking about it right now. And I know that this company, this health system, and I've been talking to Mike and others here about the vision of what you want this health system to be. But individually, I want you to be thinking about you, because you all make up what this health system will be. How do you do it? 3 things, and I encourage you to write these things down that you need to do in order to reach your finish line vision. Make the bad thing, the challenge, the difficulty in your life that has happened or does happen, make it the best thing that ever happened to you. Don't be afraid to fail, and set goals with failure potential. And earn your finish line when no one is watching you. On behalf of the 12,000 people that you lead, and the hundreds of thousands of people in this community who are looking to you, I thank you. And I thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to you today. Thank you very much for what you do.